Hello, everyone. I'm Christina, and I want to welcome everyone back. I got a new microphone, so I was hoping that y'all would let me know if you can hear me. Type in the chat box, please. Let me know. Hold on, I'll type too. Like, can you hear me? Anyway, I'm just going to assume that you can. I'm hoping that you can. And today I've got a very exciting topic. I know it's been about a week and a half because, there's always some. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. So y'all can hear me. Is it too loud? Is it okay? Give me some details. Sound is good. Awesome. So I just want to thank Paul and Adrienne for this new microphone. I didn't know it was going to be this fancy and nice. I've got one like everybody else built. So awesome. Squeaks. Okay. All right. So I want to welcome everyone who's come back, everyone who's new, and consider subscribing because we often talk about some pretty cool subjects here. Hello, very grateful, Stephen, James, Ben C, Richard, Stephen. I'm so glad to see everyone here. Yeah, they did good, right? All right, today we're talking about the Gulf of Mexico sea levels. There was an article that came out yesterday. I wanted to get on here so bad and tell y'all about it, but the drama with my mechanic dying and the check engine light, it was kind of a heinous, hectic week, but I'm back, okay? And this article came out in Houston yesterday, KHOU 11. New tool shows what Texas cities could be underwater by 2050. Now, I believe this to be a very modest map, first of all. Second of all, it doesn't just show Texas cities. You can zoom out and you can see this map going all around to Florida, up the East Coast. And I've got that link. It's the first link in the description box if y'all want to check this out all by yourself. See if I can get this to scroll down for me. Yes. Houston, if you're thinking about moving closer to the beach, you might want to do some research first. That's because a new interactive map shows what parts of the Texas coast could be underwater in the coming decades. The mapping tool was designed by Climate Central, a nonprofit group that researches and reports on climate change, rising sea levels, and coastal flooding. It seems to indicate that a large portion of land along the Texas barrier islands will fall below sea level by 2050, at the latest. That includes sections of Galveston Island, Port Bolivar, and Beaumont. The map uses measurements and estimations from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the NOAA. But experts say it isn't the final word. Instead, the map should be used as a screening tool to identify areas that need further investigation. Now, you remember that movie? It was called Day After Tomorrow. And the climate scientist, he's trying to get to government, and he's saying, we just have months. And then he comes right back and says, no, it's happening now. It's within a matter of weeks or something, So I think this is going to happen a lot faster. They're saying by 2050. And again, I think this is a very modest map, and I'll explain to you why. Meaning, I don't think it's really the whole picture. I think it's going to be like worse. But, this is an initial map. It's an initial interactive program, and there are other ones out there. So I'm thinking they gave us the nicest one. Okay. Hello, Grandma Deb and Gilbert. All right. And I'm so happy when y'all are here. I am so happy. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah. Back to the article. Sorry, I don't want to get distracted with my ADD. Okay. September will mark 15 years since Hurricane Ike leveled Bolivar Peninsula, and efforts to rebuild the coastline are ongoing. Ike, oh my gosh, that was the biggest hurricane. I was in Crosby, which is Baytown, right above Galveston, when Ike hit, and I had four small children. Two of them were babies. Yeah, I was terrified. That was a really scary storm. Anyway, hurricane. Yep. All right. Is there any more? Not on this article. But when you look at the map, right, like I said, you can zoom out and it definitely shows parts of Galveston down to Corpus Christi. It continues along the southern portions all along Louisiana. I'm talking New Orleans gone, but we would have expected that, but there's a lot of Louisiana has shrunk in the next 3 decades at the most. Then you start heading into Florida, and the west side has got a lot of red, but mostly at the bottom tip on the west side, it's real thick. Now, it also has this little sliding bar where you can change the year. And at the tip of Florida, it shows that more and more of that land at the tip is going to just be under the water. It's going to just be there. There have been, though, people that have had dreams that half of Florida was about 25 feet underwater. And that's why I'm saying I really think this is a modest map. And then when you continue to look at this map, you can see red crawling up the east coast of the United States and a significant amount on the North Carolina side and into what looks like Connecticut, but you can continue to, I'm going to like zoom out and see if I can get a hold of any other countries. Maybe I'd have to zoom in, but I'll let you play around with the map on your own. It's very interesting map to look at, and I wouldn't want to miss that if I were you. Now, there's also been word. Now, remember, I just said that Florida showed that the bottom west tip of Florida is going to be underwater. This is a recent article that came out titled, "Water at Tip of Florida Hits Hot Tub Level. May Have Set World Record for Warmest Seawater." Could there be any connection? No, certainly couldn't be any connection to magma heating up the water and in certain places of the Gulf of Mexico. It couldn't be that something is cooking down there, that something is brewing, like some kind of disaster in our future. Okay, the article begins. The water temperature on the tip of Florida hit hot tub levels exceeding 100 degrees. That's like something's erupting underneath there, kind of hot. 2 days in a row, it hit those degrees, exceeding 100. And meteorologists say that could potentially be the hottest seawater ever measured, although there are some issues with the reading. Just 26 miles, 40 kilometers away, scientists saw devastating effects from prolonged hot water surrounding Florida. Devastating coral bleaching and even some death in what had been one of the Florida Keys' most resilient reefs. Climate change has been setting temperature records across the globe this month. And if you remember, it was like about a week and a half ago or a week ago, sometime not long ago, I was talking about how there was a rig fire in the Gulf of Mexico. And we wondered how that fire started, And I said before, if magma is rising, we're going to start having problems with our rigs. Now, nobody said what caught this rig on fire. But we do see that also Door Point volcano just south of the tip of New Orleans, we've been getting quakes from that area where that subsea volcano is. Volcanoes line fault lines, tectonics. That's right. Let's continue. Climate change has been setting temperature records across the globe this month. Weather records for seawater temperatures are unofficial, and there are certain conditions in this reading that could disqualify it for a top mark. But the initial reading on the buoy at Manatee Bay hit 101.1 degrees. That's 38.4 degrees Celsius. Monday evening, according to National Weather Service meteorologist George Rizzuto. On Sunday night, the same buoy showed an online reading of 100.2 or 37.9 Celsius degrees. It seems plausible this is a potential record. While there aren't official water temperature records, a 2020 study listed a 99.7 degree mark in Kuwait Bay in July 2020 as the world's highest recorded sea surface temperature. Rizzuto said a new record from Florida is plausible because nearby buoys measured in the 98 and 99 degree range. There aren't a whole lot of buoys in the Gulf of Mexico, so nearby buoy is really relative in this conversation. If it's, say, I don't know, 1,000 miles away, and that's nearest buoy, that could be indicating that much of the Gulf, I'm just saying, how close is that other buoys? This is a hot tub. I like my hot tub around 100, 101. That's what was recorded yesterday. Yeah, we'll take the sun. I've had my daughter and another lady that I know. They put on sunscreen. They stayed in the shade. They just got in the water for a couple hours, and they were so sunburned that one of them had to go to the hospital and one of them had to call out from work. Okay. Hot tub maker Jacuzzi recommends water between 100 and 102. But he and University of Miami topical meteorologist Brian Nolde said, while the hot temperatures fit with what's happening around Florida, it may not be accepted as a record. So who cares if it's a record or not? That's hot. It's 100 degrees. Who cares about the record? What I think is more important here is what it means for people all along the Gulf Coast, and especially in Florida right now. But when you look around, I'm not going to keep reading this article, but I'm hoping you can find it. It's by AP. Florida seawater hits hot tub level and may have set world record. AP News. What I'm saying is that the whole Gulf of Mexico has been experiencing problems from Florida all the way to the Yucatan around the Mexican tip. All kinds of problems. And over the last few years, we had what looked like an underwater eruption a few years ago. It was like 120 degree temperatures at the top. And then recently, we had that rig fire. About a year ago or so, we had an eye of fire in the Gulf, like just coming out of the water. And they're trying to put it out with water, but it's in the water already. And I'm like, that looks like lava. That did not look like a regular fire. That looked like lava to me, but they called it the eye of fire, eye in the Gulf. Okay. Then we have, for last few summers preceding in June in the Gulf around Galveston to, I think it was Mississippi for sure, they were having flesh-eating virus issues when they go swimming in the Gulf, if they had the tiniest little cut. It's not okay. We had the clear blue water a couple of summers in a row in Galveston where there was salt inundation and water inundation into the salt cavities, which is destabilizing to the area. It can actually indicate crustal thinning, right? Pressure. Okay. We do have a Houston and magnetic anomaly, and we had seen sprites, earthquake lights. I think it was a year or two. I've done videos about all of this, which shows that Houston is under pressure. It has I'm not used to this microphone. Houston doesn't really realize how many fault lines they're on that has a city sitting on top of basically sponge, salt, shell, sand, and faults. That is a recipe for disaster. It really is. Okay, now we've got the temps in Florida around 100 degrees. So you see, it's not just the temps around Florida. It's not just the excessive toxic seaweed. It's not just the shark attacks or the critters washing up cooked on shore. It's not just in Florida. It's in Texas. I've also done videos about how the coastlines would be rising in the future. And when we have things, the way the earth is in the middle of the earth, because of the way things spin and gravity, we have what we call an equatorial bulge of water. around the earth. Okay. A disturbance in that, just that can be a huge worldwide problem. Okay. It'd be like Noah's flood kind of stuff. We've got sea levels that are going to rise for different reasons. Okay. Especially if you've got magma underneath the Gulf of Mexico, it's going to cause the floor to rise. Understand? And the water's got to go somewhere. And if the Gulf of Mexico has that kind of magma, then anything that it's connected to has got magma issues too, i.e. the New Madrid. Seen any earthquakes on there lately? No? Yes, you have. All right. I'm sorry it's been so long. It's just been one of those weeks and a halves, but I've got some good things lined up. I'm going to go ahead and get off the phone for a little while with you guys, but I'm going to be on here soon because I have something else to talk to you about concerning Texas and Florida very soon. I'm thinking tomorrow for sure. All right. I love you guys. God bless you. Please share these videos, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.